And today we're reacting to Atlanta men start wearing skirts. Big mistake. So I saw TikTok, right? And I swiped by just like, cause it made me upset. It was two men like in skirt. I was like, it don't look like they, swing that way. But I mean, maybe that's just what it is. This is the wrong thing on my time. Let me hurry up and swipe off before they start promoting more. I see that this is actually a thing that's taking the internet by a storm. And now it's time for me to bring that to you guys. So let's get into it. Make sure you pull to the Twitch better stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. At 5 or 6 p.m. Let's do it.
As time goes on, typically people become better at certain things. For an example, we can...
O'Shea know how to find some of the most craziest hairlines on a black male in this world, boy. He know how to find them. There's no hair. He got braids on head with no hair, like no hairline. He got a front tape. It's like, it just don't even make sense. This don't even make sense. You're getting your hair done, but you're skipping the cut. And he's still getting a haircut, by the way, because there's low hair on the side. Somebody's cutting this.
We can argue that basketball players are more athletic, more skilled, and stronger than they were in the 80s or 90s. We could say the same thing for technology, but some people don't believe that that's the case for everything. In the case of hip hop, for an example, people will say the rappers of today are not as good as the rappers of yesterday. If we look at Clips's God Sort 'Em Out's album, we can understand that their album was better than almost anybody else younger than them.
I've been hearing that. That's hard. I've been telling me I need to go listen to that. I'm gonna go check it out.
The same could be said about men. In particular, black men. The black men of today are nothing like the black men of yesteryear. They are not strong, hardworking, and masculine like the grandfathers of the 50s and 60s or even before then, or the fathers from the 70s.
Yeah, I'll be saying that. Like when I be doing a skincare routine at night, I'd be like, I just know my grandfather turning in his grave like, man, what is this nigga doing, man? I'm over here taking care of my skin, anti-aging stuff. You know what I'm saying? He over here like, bro, what is this nigga doing, bro? I like to keep some of, like, that hard work, because I used to be with him. When I be with him, we be fishing and he'll be doing a bunch of hard labor and this is that and the third. So that's instilled in me. That's there. But yeah, bro. I mean, I'm not. But same. But look though, bro. This is how you used to have to dress back then. Pull up full suit. You about to pop out. I'm in a wife beater, a beanie, some carpenter jeans, and some Ricks right now in my crib. I ain't even going nowhere. I'm relaxing, bro. I don't want to put on full suit and go use it, take the jacket off and start hitting railroad checks. My grandfather worked on the railroad fucking 90 years, bro. I'm not trying to do that.
They're not like that. For most women, these guys are not even men.
And it's like every other day we see black men constantly on this app or social media complaining about how life isn't fair, how they got to rebuild themselves, they need help, they need the woman's help. It's like they are literally the only men that get on here and tell the world that they're broken and they need to be built up by women. And they don't find that emasculating.
This particular sister is complaining that black men of today have so many issues and they need women's help, and the complaining and all of the crying from these men, they don't see that it's emasculating them. So in other words, the black men of today are behaving like women. But other people have noticed this as well.
I did a little report, a video a couple of years ago about how teacher put a little boy in a dress without the parents' permission.
Out of control.
It's being
that, nah, it can't go like that. That's one of them. You go, my woman, we go in there and turn that motherfucker up. We found that out. Put my son in a dress, bro. We would come in there to turn that up. Ain't no way. My mom would even turn that up. She ain't going. She would have been hot with either one of my little brothers or me. Anything. We ain't going.
Push now. You know what I mean?
Brother Ben X says he noticed that even in certain schools that they are teaching young black men to put on dresses. But he also adds this.
I believe it definitely is an agenda because again, when you look back at COINTELPRO, what did they want to stop? They want to stop militant black men. They want to stop militant groups to be, standing up for our people. So
Black men are no longer allowed to be masculine like in the days before. That's the important part, because COINTELPRO wanted to break down black men so that they would not be a threat to the system. And not being a threat to the system is organizing, taking care of your kids, taking care of your family, and basically fighting against the racism and systemic oppression that black men have faced in the country for years. But when it comes to men in general, we are hearing these arguments all the time about what's going on.
What is soft on a man? What's supposed to be soft on a man? His breast? His thighs? What kind of soft boy era are they living in? They really are trying to, I know it's like funny and it's supposed to be like a joke, but literally, if men don't even want to be masculine anymore, then the woman will literally just start, quote unquote, creating the things on her own without him. And then when he approaches and can't get anything or any type of response from a woman and wonders why, it's because he's not giving any masculine energy.
Now, this is Shira7. She's saying that a lot of these men don't want to take care of women, and the reason why women don't want them is because they lack masculine energy. This is important. But wait, there's more.
And any men who talks down upon women because they don't have anything to give her or want to give them is living literally in their feminine. They've been raised by women, and then they want to blame the women for raising them instead of dropping them off at the orphanage or at the fire station. You could have been left in a toilet, a dumpster, an orphanage, or a fire station. So you better be glad somebody stuck around to raise you.
Now she's saying that the guys who are lacking masculine energy were raised by their mothers, but they're blaming these women who raised them. But while you're complaining about these women who raised them, they could have dropped you off and made you homeless, because you can't blame the women who raised you.
You were raised by, I could tell you were raised by women argument. That's a tough one, because it's kind of like you're telling somebody who had no choice in the matter and talking about them a certain way. Now, I'm raised by women, you know what I'm saying? I was raised by my mom. My father passed when I was 2 years old. She then married, and he left out of our lives when I was 10 years old. I'm gonna be a little vulnerable with y'all, and just let y'all know into my life. So when I was 10 years old, I had a father figure in the house from 2 to 10. From 10 to however long, I forget. It was me. My mom was bringing us up. Now, the difference between, I don't know how other people's situation was, right? The difference between my situation was I still had men in my life. So every single summer, I would go to my dad's side. My dad had passed away. I would go to Atlanta every summer. So I'm with the men that, like my dad's brother, you know what I'm saying? My dad's father, you feel me? My dad's sister, I'm with them, you know what I'm saying? And they come from a very hard-working, tough luck. Like, there's been time I was running outside, playing football with my uncle or cutting grass or something. He told me to just run. Like, he used to have me do. He used to say, "I'm gonna bully you like your dad used to bully me, just so I can get my get back." Right? So he was having me do stuff, and he would be like, "You He'd be like, one day he was like, "You run like a girl, man. Freaks how you run." Like, so certain things like that, right? My mom knew. She tried her best to raise a man. She tells me this now. She tried her best to raise a man, even though she couldn't. She couldn't be a man. She couldn't do everything, but she tried to. I came up very tough love. So did me and my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Now my other brothers, they're growing up a little bit different because they have a man in the house. But I grew up different, right? In regards to in that way. So, but even with that though, regardless, I don't know how other people's mothers were raising them up. I don't know. Again, mine was very tough love. You feel me? My mom expected a lot out of me, and things like that. But I still, even with that being said, I still, like, people be trying to say that about dudes that get raised up like that. how can they help that? And they have to find, and they don't know how to navigate and do certain things and figure certain things out, right? And you can't blame them for that. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel for them like that because, again, like I said, I came up that way, but I think I got a good luck of the draw, was just how I was coming up, you feel me? And the people in my life, they just didn't allow me to be a certain way. But in a situation like this, when it comes to the women, it's like, I don't know what angle she's kind of taking right now. I'm a little bit confused on what she's saying. I just like, let me speak my piece in regards to that. It's like she's saying they feminine, but they're raised by moms, but then they're blaming the moms that raised them up when they could have left them in the garbage or something like that. Like, what's the relevance here? I'm missing the point that she's trying to relate.
You and didn't help you pick a father because they could have left you for dead. Now, this argument contradicts itself.
That exactly. Okay, I'm like, that was even okay. All right.
On one hand, you blame the black men raised by women
Right.
who can't tap into their masculine nature, and then when those same men blame their moms,
And for y'all black men that was raised by your moms, this is my question to y'all that maybe didn't have no male figures. It was just you and your mom ducks. What your mom have you in there doing? Well, she just did everything. She made you didn't have to make your bed and wash your own clothes and figure things out. Like, she did everything for you. I don't know. Even because I same thing. When my other people in my cousins, same thing. They got raised up by women. You feel me? We had a situation where a lot of the men, it was either jail. These certain things just happen, right? So, but we still had all the same male figures, and they didn't allow certain things. You know, we still had uncles and grandfathers and things like that was still on that. So I just don't see it because I see how everything is. Now I see the flaw. We all got flaws from certain things, I'd imagine. You know what I'm saying? My cousins got flaws and things like that. But like, they not no buster at this though.
for not selecting a father, you say, oh, well, you shouldn't be blaming the woman because she's the one that actually saved you. Now, again, damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Right,
and
right.
that brings us to this topic. A few young men out of Atlanta
I forgot what the video was about, bro.
have went viral for this.
We go black tee, we go iCash skirt, we go tights, black hat threes. Alright, we go with iCash polo, iCash lace skirt on the bottoms.
Regardless if it's a joke or it's for real, this gotta be a joke though. This cannot be niggas like, no, we bringing something clean to the streets. Like, this is how we bringing something new. There's no possible way in the world. Or somebody that they think is some Illuminati member said, hey, you gonna do this and we gonna catapult you to the top, and they actually believed it. The whole time it was some homeless on the street. There's no way they think that this is.
We go AR drawers.
Now, these guys are wearing skirts, and we can say that's a fashion statement. I mean, the Irish guys have done it before. We've had wrestlers in the past like Roddy Piper.
Them is kilts. Now, again, I'm not wearing no kilt. I don't know but there's something history there behind that. These niggas is wearing female little booty skirts, the ones you don't even want your girl wearing, because the ass gonna be at the bottom.
That's done it. And okay, yes, kilts or skirts, and men in Scotland and Europe have done it. But this is a little bit different because Black American men are not known for doing this. Now, we have seen entertainers.
Bro, if I saw my son, even this right here, this ain't it. This is not it. If I saw my son moving this way, bro, I would have to like put the gloves on, bro. You gotta see me. Look, let me break something down to you, bro. I love you, man. If this how you living, I'll never disown my son. If he was homosexual, bro, I'm not disowning my son. I love my son. I love him to death. It is what it is. This is the life you chose. You know, I don't see that happening because of certain things that I'm moving and instilling, and you know how we living. But in some way, shape, or form, if it in some universe where that happened, I'm not disowning my son. But I'll tell you this though, bro. Look, all that flamboyant, all this, that, and the third, while in the crib, and you wearing this, bro. You're not doing that. When you get out of the crib, you can do all of that, bro. You hate me for it if you want. With this, that, and the third. But in the crib with me, you wearing clothes, bro. You ain't gotta be, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to wear it, but you wearing clothes though. You ain't wearing skirts and dresses and makeups outside the crib. We ain't doing that, brother. We wearing regular clothes, bro.
Russell Westbrook and certain other guys be involved in like Paris Fashion Week and do this. But when you look at it from a masculine standpoint, it can be looked at in two ways. Number one, this is a trend for guys to be different. Number two, here is the feminization and the emasculation of black men. And these are the black men that these women are complaining about. And they don't like it. A lot of the women don't like it, okay? Now, the guys, they kind of think that it's a joke and,
It's gotta
whatever.
be a joke.
But a lot of the women will point to this and say, oh, here we go in Atlanta. These guys are gay. I told you black men were gay. All of these things are situations that you will hear when it comes to these young black men who are trying out these new fashion trends or possibly experimenting with their sexuality. And again, I say, who raised these men? In order for you to get the kind of men that you want, I'm going to keep saying this, you have to invest in those kind of men. All right? It's the same thing for any business, any powerhouse program in sports. I mean, if you look at Nebraska in the 80s and 90s under Tom Osborne, he stayed there for like almost 27 years, and he had to build that program up into a national powerhouse. Now, same thing with any other team, any other business. You have to develop what you want to see to get a product. And it's not easy developing what you want to see. To develop black men or any kind of man that has responsibilities, that want to take care of his women, that want to look masculine and act masculine, you have to invest in wanting to be with the father. And the father has to invest and wanted to be with a mother.
Right.
But when you have a man and a woman who don't feel like they ought to get married and take care of their kids or basically do it all by themselves and co-parent, well, then you might get some more of this. This is not to say that all, black men that have two parents won't address like this. But if you don't have black men understanding the masculine roles in societies, then you're going to have this. And then
I refuse to believe, and I don't know again, but I just refuse to believe, regardless if you even co-parent where you got your dad and you got your mom, if you don't got your dad and you just got your mom is not promoting and sitting here like, yeah, no, you good? Yeah, where that? You good? Where is this? I don't feel like this is coming from that. Somebody break that down for me. How is that just because you got your mother? Because your mother, at the end of the day, was not that was wearing a skirt. Your mother knows what that looks like. Your mother promoting, you see your son coming up, and you see your son doing this, and then it is what it is. What is that? No, that correlation doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't. It don't. There was no way my mom would have seen this and been like, she would call, if she saw me do that right now, she would call me and be like, yo, what's going on? She would think something she would come down to Houston and have to see and sit down with me because she would think something mentally ill was going, like, you feel me? I had something happen. She would have to come like, no, she would be calling, is everything okay? She'd be confused, bro. So I don't see what's the core? How is that even?
in the scapegoat that happens.
It's because you were living with your mom longer. Now this makes sense because his mom raised him up, so his mom raised him to do it. Doesn't make sense.
Happens is black women are gonna point this out and call these guys out for this. This is what I'm talking about. These dudes just want each other. These dudes just hate each other. Then you ask that same lady, "Are you a single mom?" And she gonna be like, yeah, the same woman complaining about a lack of black men that are strong out there is basically a single mom or doesn't have a man herself. And this is the issue. You have to want your son or your daughter to have both parents in the house.
I agree. I definitely agree. I feel as if that's extremely important. I see that it's extremely important because my girl, she don't like disciplining my son. You know what I'm saying? She don't like. Maybe that's where it is. There's a certain level of discipline that don't get had, maybe, for them. Because again, I don't know where this comes from because all the black women in my life, and you could get your ass whooped by anybody. My grandmother will do you dirt. She'll get that and tear that ass. Speak crazy, talk crazy if you want to. It was a yes ma'am, no ma'am. You can't say yeah when they call you from downstairs. You can't even say yeah. You can't. Ooh, they downstairs. We can't do that now. Yeah, no, it's yes ma'am. No, all of that. It's now. I guess other people just not raised like that. Even my friends that I was living around was raised like that though. We all knew. So again, I'm trying to play devil's advocate and see both sides. This is how I do. You feel me? Some people call that fence ride. I call it being open-minded. I see both sides. Okay, let me see the ones, and I choose where I land. But maybe.
Okay, if you want this to stop, then you can't just be out there getting your cheeks clapped or booty clapping it up without condoms just because you want to have fun for the night or get pregnant. You have to understand that it takes a lot of work, a lot of folks in the community that can have a good effect on your son. All right. Now, when I came up in the 80s and 90s in the black community, it seems so long ago. But one thing I can say is we had a lot of black men in our community that teach you how to cut the grass and how to do stuff like that. I can remember my granddaddy right now. Boy, keep that wheel by that edge, boy. You missed the spot. Stop. Put that wheel by that edge. Keep that wheel by that edge. Rest in peace, Grandpa. He lived till he's 101 years old. But he used to teach me, boy, keep that wheel by that edge. He would get me up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, show me how to do things. Now, I wasn't really an outdoorman kind of person or fixing cars and stuff, but he tried to show me what he could because he knew one day I would have to go head on and have my own family. And he tried to give me as much as he could. The same with my dad. But you don't see that right now in the black community. A lot of black men, if you grew up in my time and you went to church, if you had brotherhood service on Mondays or whatever, you had men you can reach out to. You had men that can help you get summer jobs. You had men that can help you do something in the community. Those things are not there anymore.
That's true, and I agree, but it's just a different. The times have changed. Like certain things have switched. You don't even see people really, like where I am at least. I'm not seeing too many people cutting their own grass. They calling people to cut their own grass, right? You know what I'm saying? A lot of places are renting now. A lot of people don't even own their own crib to cut their own grass now to learn certain things like that. Your car, they got electric cars. You take it to over here, or you might have a gas car. So some people, you should always know to change the damn tire. You feel me? That things like that. But a lot of the things that were once a thing are not that. And even with, let's say, jobs now. You feel me? Certain jobs, like the job market has switched in regards to these types of jobs don't even take certain people like this no more. It's done switched up to this. The internet has opened up a whole new. There's gonna be different things. Like I see it like this. Like there are certain things that are always going to have to translate that we're always going to have to know. Right, like I said, changing tires. Maybe changing your oil. So even if you really get into it, changing your brakes. I feel like being the more broke you are and the more things you kind of got to do because you ain't got the money to fix certain things. Like I remember when my car would mess up or something like that, I ain't got the bread, I got to get on YouTube and start you know what I'm saying. I was comfortable with that because again I grew up and raised up with my uncles and my grandfather. I had to be under trucks and cars and stuff like that and learn this thing, so it was a comfortable thing, and I guess I can make that more comfortable for my children and my grandchildren and stuff like that. But in a world where these things are not, as common anymore, other things are. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather couldn't teach me how to do what I'm doing and be as successful as I've become in my home. I'm saying this in the most humble way possible, and the most successful as I come by the age that I am and the industry that I'm in. You feel me? I was told, you know, he wanted me to go to college and do this. My uncle, he wanted me to go to school, be a doctor or a lawyer. You know, God rest both their soul. You feel me? And I'm talking about another uncle, not the one that was on my dad's side. My dad's side wanted me to come drive trucks and do CDLs and wanted me to follow in them, do what they do. You feel me? Own trucks and drive trucks and this, that, and the third. You feel me? They own their trucking business and stuff. They want me to do that. My dad, before he passed, he had a company called Alexander and Alexander. The other Alexander was for me. And that was going to be, he was going to teach me to do a whole lot of fixing stuff in the crib. He did a lot of renovated houses and fixed houses and stuff like that. You feel me? So, but because of, you know, unfortunate events, certain things didn't go the way that was supposed to be. Another lane, but that same work ethic has been passed down to me to do things like go crazy with the internet. Things need to be done right. I'm real meticulous and particular on how certain things are done. You feel me? I have to have other outside sources come talk to me about, oh, this is how, like, yo, Dior, you know, they used to do it like this, is that, and the third, and it's be hard. I trust only so many voices. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because they know how I like things done. You got to get with the Dior program for me to even listen to what you had to say, right? So, things are gonna get passed down. I'm gonna be able to pass certain things to my kids that my people couldn't teach me, right? But certain things are gonna get lost too because the world is changing ultimately.
You know, in the 70s and 80s, when you had a lot of single mothers in the black communities, you know, you had a lot of black men that had boxing gyms. And
see, like something like this. My son, I'm gonna make sure he's in that gym boxing, for sure.
You know, a lot of the coaches was there, basketball, things that
too.
A man could step up and just, you know, be like that, right? And kind of help your son. Those things are not really there as much as it used to be, right? We don't operate in the same way. So if black women are going to complain about men like this, then are you doing your job by having a man that can actually teach your son and your daughter how to be the right kind of person? Do you have that infrastructure in place? Because if you don't, then I just don't understand what the complaints are. If you're not out there trying to solve the problem of why you think these young black men are wearing skirts or why you think these young black men are effeminized, I just don't get why you're complaining, because you are definitely not helping. This is something that needs to be talked about more often. Like, I get it. You don't want these guys out here wearing the same stuff as you. I get it. You don't like these guys out here competing for your makeup. Okay, great. We understand. What are you doing a whole lot?
Oh, bro, take that off.
Complaining about these guys not want to take care of you, not spending money, when they have never seen a man buy his wife something. They've never seen a man buy his wife a car because their mama been coddling their whole life. That's the one thing. And I'm not disrespecting him when I'm saying this, but if your son see you working, giving him money and things like that, okay, he might be a hardworking young man, but he's not gonna know what it's like to get up, take care of a wife, get up, take care of kids, get up, and be a man and be a role model as well as he would do it if he saw a man doing it. How to react in certain situations, how to behave in certain situations.
Okay.
If he doesn't see that, there's no way he can do it. So guys, what do you think?
Okay. For sure. I see it. I can understand. Well, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like the video, sub up, comment, adventures, your channel, layout, bro. I appreciate y'all, bro. I'm grateful for y'all, bro. We gone, man. Edit labs, boy.